and back.
Pull
Or
up a
maybe
chair by the
just
hearth.
2 hours, like 6:15, 5, 6. Maybe just 1.5 hour streaming again as well. Play 3 Tavern Brawls and play 12 Dragons. What's the Tavern Brawl today? Brawl of the Godines. 2 per turn. Should we play some Tavern Brawls? Let's go priest, right? Which one has lots of dragons? Priest.
Piranda versus Piranda.
You give me strength. The goddess is my shield.
Woohoo, you're already a dragon. This is nice. Let's take that. Ooh, he's priest too. I have a coin. I can coin out and then Draconite. I can't do anything much, right? So, coin. Situation coming true. Summon a random beast. That's too many stuff, man. This won't work. Inner fire for the wolf. I'll take the inner fire. Ow. I think we go that route, right?
Pay attention, class.
Okay.
The sun has set for me.
Okay.
I see a vision in the flame.
Brilliant. I'm ready to learn.
Okay. Okay, sure. Let's just do that. I have this as a backup.
Give me a quest.
What's the request?
Pay attention, class.
Sure. Yeah, so you have to kill that one.
Hmm. I wonder.
335. Oh, wow. Okay. How you doing?
Let us accept.
Okay. We can do something like this, right? What's the dragon? Something. Okay. Can do something like this. Like we heal, right? We heal. Something like that.
Your soul is in mine.
Plague of Death.
I dream and the world burns.
Nice.
I dream and the world burns. I'm ready to burn.
One last.
I'm ready to burn.
Okay, so now what?
It is finished. You win.
yeah, I just want to finish those quests.
Randa versus Liadrin.
My blade burns with holy fire.
Can Loon give me strength?
Nope. Okay, I'll take that. Wow. Sure.
Ah, hello, challenger. Blessings to you.
Powering up. Portal online. Shields up. Red alert.
I don't make mistakes. I bury them. Behold the might of Stormwind. That's my game. Hey, that's my game. Restore the Alliance.
Shields fail me.
Reporting for duty. That's my game.
Die, insect.
Take this time to consider your
I'm free, and so is my
Die, insect.
Protocol 7 engaged.
Reporting for duty. Hey, that's my game! One last fight.
My fire be burned.
He should not have attacked.
Reporting for duty. The equivalent glory of a
Die, insect. Die, insect. Behold the story of a true son. Die, insect.
Well played.
Yes, you didn't take enough dragons. More.
Randa versus Lunara.
The forest fights back.
The moon give me
That's
strength.
scrappy. Oh my god. Maybe that might be possible. Good. Oh my god. Those other. Oh my god.
Free your mind from its past.
Team spirit be the
Ready
best
for action.
spirit.
I think we lose this one. This is one crappy deck. From the looks of it. Yeah, I have a Wood Doctor. A Worgen Infiltrator.
Now how about
Now, how about what? Okay. Okay. Hey, play the dragon.
How long
Should
can
have.
this go on? How long can this go on?
the rage? It claims me. My beautiful creations.
Okay. There's a mech. Death rattle minions you play cost. Wow. It's got a Lich King!
The greatest destruction is patience.
You'll do nicely.
What if?
Power takes many.
Lottie! Play a dragon. Ooh, that's nice. Come on, just finish the game, my god.
It is finished.
It is finished, you win. There you go, I played 3 Tavern Brawls. Sorry about that. Ah, poor Bashford.
What's your strategy this time, partner?
Yep, decided this one.
Don't tell the others. I'm rooting for you.
What do you get?
You're good at this.
Oh. Planning to do some wrath weaving. Murlocs. 3 Murlocs. Oh my god. So I will probably not survive 2-1-1. Nope. Skip the Rat Weaver.
I've got some fresh recruits for you.
Rat. Is that better? Let's go for this and this next turn. Yeah, I might get a better one. Next.
Keep up the momentum, friend.
Obey me.
Nice.
Any defeat
That's
that doesn't
better.
destroy you makes you strong. It's good to get some minions in play.
Even player.
How do I attract all these minions? 2 words. Funnel, cakes. Keep up the momentum,
Funnel
friend.
cake. Oh, that's a 3-star early. That's an early 3-star.
The battle is really raging out there.
Four turns ago. Triple. It doesn't have a minion.
I think
know what
you
we're
can
looking
win
for.
this thing.
Not getting any good stuff. Not getting that
Obey me.
Welcome back. How's it going out there?
And
Shields at the ready!
Go ahead and
Jesus,
hire
man.
one of these recruits. So many viewers. You're doing great out there.
Excellent.
Your minions really pulled their weight.
Okay.
That's what I would have picked.
Sky Golem. That's Sky Golem.
I think you can win this thing.
Can't say like that though. Real nice hit. Jesus, man. It's a bad 12 hitter.
I've got some fresh recruits for you.
Okay, use this. I know he's nothing good, right?
That one might make all the difference.
So. Son of 5-5.
Go ahead and hire one of these recruits. I didn't like that one either. Here's a gold for the trouble.
Let's freeze that.
You're doing great out there.
Just need more demons.
Welcome back. How's it going out there?
Maybe do it this way.
Another satisfied.
most likely die here.
I think you can win this thing.
Jesus. Yeah, it's
I've got some fresh recruits for you.
nice.
Exactly what you were looking for.
Get down.
Can get this guy, right?
Who knows what secrets will uncover?
Another satisfied customer.
Do something like that. This works. Let's do it that way. This complex. Beast, mech. Everyone's going mech.
I think you can win this thing.
My God. My God. Nah, 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 nah.
What's your strategy this time, partner?
Nothing scares me.
Nothing
Except
scares
one.
me.
Don't tell the others. I'm rooting for you.
Avenge me.
I got some fresh recruits for you. Keep up the momentum, friend. I've got some fresh recruits for you. Better hire a recruit while you can.
I'll take this.
You're doing great out there.
외동딸 인도는 20번 고선대는 민주노 군음이다 좀
Avenge me! Avenge me!
The battle is really raging out there. That one might make all the difference. Keep up the momentum, friend.
Avenge me!
The battle is really raging out there. You're doing great out there.
Avenge me!
You're good at this. I didn't like that one either. Here's a gold for the trouble. You're doing great out there. Nice work out there. Keep up the pressure. It's good to get some minions in play.
In a previous video, we compared 4 of the top Thunderbolt 3 portable SSDs that are capable of read speeds of up to around 2500 megabytes per second. And while they're all great drives, the best 1TB options were priced up to $400. We really needed a portable drive that was as fast as possible so we could quickly transfer large video files between computers. But as you'll see in a minute, the other drives we tested have some major limitations. So in this video, we're going to show you how to build your own portable SSD that's not only faster than all the other options, but cheaper, more portable, future-proof, and fully customizable. Here's how we did it. Only very recently, Thunderbolt 3 NVMe SSD enclosures started popping up on Amazon for much lower prices than before. And what's special about Thunderbolt 3 is that it allows for read speeds of up to 3000 megabytes per second compared to regular USB-C, which only supports speeds of around 500 megabytes per second per drive. So basically, you buy this enclosure and either reuse an M.2 NVMe SSD that you currently own, or you buy whichever one you'd like to on Amazon, which is a freedom that you don't have when buying a branded portable SSD. And of course, you need to make sure that your computer has at least one Thunderbolt 3 port, which is now available on most Windows computers and is a given on any recent Mac. So this custom portable SSD build starts with the enclosure, and this is the one we use because it's built out of aluminum with thermal pads that touch the SSD's chips. So the whole enclosure should act as a heatsink and keep our SSD cool. Now the SSD that we used is the Sabrent Rocket 1TB NVMe SSD. What's really special about it is that it uses PCI Express 4.0, and if you stick this into a PC, it can get read speeds of up to 5000 megabytes per second, assuming you have a PCI Express 4 motherboard. It does that by using a new Phison SSD controller that's incredibly fast. Now we won't get speeds that quick using Thunderbolt 3, but the extra tech that's built into this drive gives it a massive advantage over other options, as we'll show you in just a minute. And the awesome thing about this drive is that you can buy a heatsink with it for only $10 more, which will come in handy if you ever want to use it in a PC, or if you want to jerry-rig it into a cheaper SSD enclosure, as we'll show you at the end of this video. So now we have the enclosure in this future-proof drive for a total of $320. So let me show you how easy it is to put it together, and we'll start benchmarking it. The enclosure comes with a mini screwdriver, so you simply take the screws out and open it up. Then grab the SSD and plug it in, which is easy because it only goes in one way, so you can't mess it up. Then fasten the SSD in with the included screw, and then screw in and secure the case, and you're done. You've got an external SSD that's actually more portable than a lot of the other more expensive options. Now let me show you how it compares to those other branded SSDs. In terms of read speed, using the Blackmagic Disk Speed Test, our custom SSD hits 2500 megabytes per second, only being slower than the Samsung X5 by around 50 megabytes. But in terms of the writing speed, this Sabre SSD reached over 2400 megabytes per second, quicker than the rest of the drives. We also stress tested the drives because each drive has a certain amount of gigabytes it can write at full speed, which is called the SoC cache. Once the cache fills up, the drives greatly slow down for the rest of the transfer. Like for example, the OWC drive went from writing at 1922 megabytes per second down to 950 after hitting its 30 gigabyte cache limit. This caused it to be the slowest drive out of the bunch, taking 2 minutes and 45 seconds to transfer our large 172 gigabyte file. Now running the same exact test on our custom SSD, the transfer finished in a shockingly low 1 minute and 4 seconds, completely blowing away all the other drives. Here's how it did it. The Samsung drive had the highest amount of SoC cache at 48 gigabytes before slowing down to the drive's normal writing speeds. Our custom SSD, however, transferred the entire 172 gigabytes without hitting any type of cache limit. The custom drive's aluminum case did get really hot, which means it's working well as a heatsink, and throughout the entire transfer, the slowest speed we saw was a split-second drop to 2300 megabytes per second, compared to the rest of the drives that slowed way down after only 20 to 48 gigabytes of written data. So this goes to show that this custom SSD is much faster than all of the other options while also being cheaper. But here's what really makes it great. This Sabre drive has an extended 5-year warranty, so if for some reason it goes bad, you can simply take it out of the case and use the warranty. And to make it even better, this Sabre drive has a TBW rating of 1800, blowing away the rest of the drives we tested in terms of how good the warranty is. Another benefit of having a custom drive is that if, let's say, a couple years down the road, Thunderbolt 4 or 5 comes out and it supports double the transfer speeds, simply replace the enclosure with a new one, and now this custom SSD becomes even faster. That's the beauty of having a custom SSD, because you get so much more freedom to swap the parts out however you'd like. And to make it even better, right now, it's cheaper and faster than the best branded options available. We initially used this SSD in an even cheaper $77 enclosure, but the only issue was that this drive was slowing down to 1000 megabytes per second because of overheating, which is why we used the more expensive enclosure with better cooling. However, we used the Sabre Rockets heatsink, which you can get by paying an extra $10, and those overheating issues went away. The only problem was that the top of the enclosure would no longer fit over the heatsink. But if you're the type of person who's okay with jerry-rigging their stuff, you can grab some gaffer tape and cover it up, or if you have a 3D printer, you can make a larger top cover. This will give you awesome performance for a cheaper $277 instead of $320 for the better enclosure. But we thought it was worth it to spend a bit more for a more solid solution. So no matter which option better floats your boat, we'll have Amazon links to both of these enclosures down in the description below, along with the crazy fast Sabre Rocket SSD and a few other SSD options that we approve of. If you guys enjoyed this video, you can check out that initial SSD comparison to see the benefits of the other pre-built options right over there. And if you haven't yet subscribed, you can do so by clicking the circle above. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
If you manage a team, you should be using Monday.com. It's a platform to manage any team and any project. Marketing campaigns, classic project management, sales pipelines, creative productions, anything. We'll start with the board. Here you can track everything your team is working on. Concepts are completely customizable, so you can track what's important to you. Everything.
I've got some fresh fruits for you. Defensive systems online.
Jesus. Shit.
You're doing great out there.
Error 37. Tail ring. Error 37.
God, what record? Oh, my stats is so bad this month.
Fresh opponents. Are you ready? It's good to get some minions in play. All the best minions come here. I've got that spicy pretzel mustard. Don't tell the others. I'm rooting for you. Your minions really pulled their weight.
What's your money up to? Is it sitting still in a savings account? Stashed under your mattress? Is it living up to its full potential?
About the Snyder in the theatres is not the version that Zack Snyder wanted us to see. Now, if you're not totally familiar with what the Snyder Cut actually is, long story short, he was forced to leave the production in May 2017 owing to a horrible family tragedy. He was replaced by the MCU's Joss Whedon, who then, well, did lots of changes, and so too did the studio, and in the time since, we've heard about all the many things he wanted to put in the film, but either didn't or had taken away. And the important thing to understand about this is that the Snyder Cut does not technically exist. It isn't sitting on someone's hard drive somewhere. It's not on a USB stick getting kicked around Hollywood. It is merely just the version of the film that Snyder wanted to make. And if we ever are going to see it, he would have to sit down and edit it. But the thing is, we might get to see that one day because he is very keen to do it. A lot of the cast are very keen to do it. And, well, Hollywood loves money and it would surely make an absolute boatload of it. But I hear you ask, Adam, what would actually be on it? Well, I'm going to tell you. Yes, strap yourselves in, my friends, because my name is Adam Cleary, and these are the 10 coolest, some film canon hours supposed to be a lot more to this scene, because we also see images of both Aquaman and Wonder Woman sitting in the back of the van. One of the captions attached to this is a little bonding as we raise the dead, implying there was a whole host of dialogue between Aquaman and Wonder Woman that never made it into the final theatrical cut. And the thing is, that might not sound like a lot, but given how good the Flash Cyborg interaction was during this scene, two of the more major characters in the film getting a similar moment is something I would like to see. Number 8, Cyborg has a battle scene and another character dies. Yes, I think if there's one thing we know to be universally true now, it's that of all the characters who were done dirty in this movie, Cyborg undoubtedly suffers the most. Like, even going off the trailers, there was loads that we were supposed to see of him that we didn't. Now, we know Snyder had him being a much more important role of this film. There were scenes of him literally inside a mother box. There were scenes before his transformation, but one of the most interesting comes in the shape of a fight sequence supposed to take place at Star Labs. And Snyder himself shared a picture of this battle on Vero. We can see Steppenwolf making eyes at a mother box and Cyborg standing between them. Now, given that one of the problems with this film was just the battle sequences were all a bit messy and never really clicked, a one-on-one fight inside a corridor is something that could have really added to the film. Unless, of course, Silas Stone, that is. Yeah, Cyborg's father was supposed to die in this movie, and given that we can see him in parts of this scene and next to an explosion, you can kind of put two and two together and realise that he's going to fight the big one at this part of the film. Number 7, the ending leads directly into Aquaman. Now, yes, Batman does appear in Suicide Squad, and yes, there is that whole bit with the Flash in Batman vs Superman where he's like, "You were right about him." But one of the problems with the DCEU was that for a shared universe, it never really felt all that interconnected, especially not when compared to other cinematic universes that I forget the name of. Now, in the theatrical cut of Justice League, Aquaman just kind of walks up to the water and jumps straight in, and that is the last that we see of him. But the ending of the Snyder Cut was supposed to tie directly in to the start of the Aquaman movie. In that version, we get Vulko and Mera coming to tell him that there is this horrible force coming to Atlantis that he must return to battle, and he sort of moralizes over it before eventually going to see what the problem is. And of course, what happened in the theatrical version? Mera's in it for about 5 seconds, and there is no Vulko at all. And, alright, I guess it kind of feels like one of these not that important things that you would maybe cut for the sake of time, but given they were trying to build this big shared universe, having a direct tie-in between one film to the other, feels like something you would want to keep in, surely? Number 6, it explores Flash's time travel powers. Yes, speaking of that whole "you were right about him" time travel moment involving the Flash, they just never bothered to explain that, did they? Ever. And the reason that's very confusing is because there is a character who is time traveling who we have never ever seen be able to time travel in any capacity. And Zack Snyder was going to clear that up in his version of the film by, yes, you guessed it, having Flash time travel. And this sounds so cool. He uses the cosmic treadmill to go back and warn Bruce Wayne. He manages to revert the ending of the film after Steppenwolf manages to win to give Cyborg another shot at stopping the unity of the mother boxes, and then he uses his own powers to put Cyborg literally inside the mother box to stop the unity from within. Like, the guy was a big deal in that version. They kind of just use him as comic relief in the theatrical cut, but in the Snyder cut he was supposed to be, well, pretty much the guy who saves the entire day, and that is a huge, huge change. Number 5, the Atom has a small role. Now, don't get carried away with this one. He wasn't going to be there as the superhero, the Atom, but the groundwork was certainly going to be laid for his inclusion in the film. The character of Ryan Choi was being played by Orion Lee, was supposed to be the head of nanotechnology at the Star Labs. Now, of course, being the head of nanotechnology, that does lead into the idea that he uses those powers to eventually become the Atom, and while that was the case in the film, it's a really nice little nudge and a wink and a nod to some of the wider lore. It's a small role, yes, but it is a cool one, and it's not the only new superhero who would have been introduced in this film. Not by a long shot. Number 4, Martian Manhunter. Yes, yes, for real, Martian Manhunter was the universe and all of that. Then, at the end, Lois Lane was going to leave the room and the camera was going to linger on Martha Kent for just a moment, until she transforms into that green-skinned pal of yours and mine, Martian Manhunter. Then, and this gets even cooler, he was going to transform into General Swanwick, who, yes, was in both Batman vs Superman and Man of Steel. And the implications of that are absolutely huge. Is he friend? Is he foe? Has he been Swanwick since the entire beginning of this narrative? I want to know, and I'm saying I want to know, we will almost definitely never, ever, ever get the answer to those questions. It's a shame. Number 3, there are flashbacks to a young Darkseid. Yep, he was teased in Batman vs Superman, and we all thought, yes, sooner or later Darkseid's going to make a major appearance in the DCEU. Then, when Justice League came along, we were like, ah yes, it's going to be here. And then, when the film came out, we were like, ah no, it's not. And if any of the information we've got about the Snyder Cut is to be believed, then he was going to be a huge part of this film. They had an entire score written and composed by Junkie XL for him. He was supposed to be one of the main antagonists, possibly even the main antagonist in the entire film. Like, yes, Steppenwolf would have still been in it, but not as prominently as he was. Like, it could have been Darkseid's film. Now, you may recall there was a scene in which Diana takes us through the entire concept and history of Steppenwolf, setting up basically a potted history for why he is so bad. But the original concept for that scene was supposed to be about a young version of Darkseid looking for the anti-life equation and basically battering around the defenders of the Earth. That was the Snyder Cut version. In the theatrical version, it's just all about Steppenwolf. Number 2, Wonder Woman decapitates Steppenwolf. Yeah, alright, full disclosure here, I actually kind of like the way they get rid of Steppenwolf in the theatrical cut, but given that they set up this huge, epic battle, it does kind of feel a little bit underwhelming. In parts, not so in the Snyder Cut though, it's horrible. You remember he falls victim to his own parademons before being teleported away, but no, what Zack Snyder wanted to do was impale him with Aquaman's trident, then get punched really hard in the face by Superman, thus breaking his neck, and then Diana comes around and just cleaves his head clean off his body. In a film. And do you know what it is? Do you know why I like that idea so much? Because they're teaming up, and it's meant to be a team-up movie, and for a team-up movie, they don't really feel like they do a whole lot of teaming up. So if they teamed up at the end to team up to kill Steppenwolf, I would have been like, yes, good, enjoyed that, a team-up. Number 1, the arc of Black Suit Superman. Yeah, before we knew anything about this movie, everyone was speculating that we were going to see the cinematic debut of Black Suit Superman, which is, in layman's terms, Superman wearing his black suit. Basically, if you've never heard of it, Superman dies, comes back, and doesn't think he deserves to wear the famous red and blue costume. Thus sets about this arc of redemption in which he literally earns those colours back, and in the process, in the meantime, has to wear the black suit. And in the Snyder Cut, that is exactly what we were going to get. Superman comes back from the dead, he doesn't feel like he deserves his old costume, so he stays in the black suit, and you're not going to want to hear this, Justice League fans, but he was going to still have it on at the end of the film, and still have it on in Justice League 2, and then finally get his old costume back in Justice League 3. 2 films which you probably noticed we're not getting. And this is just, this particular Instagram picture that just says there is so much to all of this, the surface hasn't even been scratched. Oh, God, I really want to see it. The Dark Superman arc is easily the most interesting, compelling, and exciting thing that they cut out of the Snyder Cut and didn't make it into the theatrical version. And if there's anything that sums up quite how wrong this whole film went, probably that. But they have those other 10 coolest details out of, let's face it, the millions we know about the Snyder Cut at this stage. Will we ever see it? Please, I would like to think we would, because I'm a bad nerd, and this is just bad nerd Nirvana, isn't it? Anyway, let us know what you made of it all in the comments below. Share and subscribe. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. I've of course been Adam Cleary, and I will see you soon. Goodbye.
Keep up the momentum, friend.
It's time once again for the Oscars.
We're not worthy!
The award show that everyone says is irrelevant until the nominations come out, and everyone gets pissed off all over again.
Every day I wake up and I hope you're dead!
Now, here are this year's nominees for Best Picture, half of which the Academy may have even seen before they voted. Based on a real-life race war. Wait, that didn't come out right. Comes the movie you'll be watching every Father's Day from now until they remake True Grit again, featuring Matt Damon as racing pioneer Carroll Shelby and Christian Bale as himself. And And if you're still wondering which star is playing Ford and which star is Ferrari, then maybe this isn't the movie for you. Here, try this old version of Marriage Story instead. Wait, they're both Kramer? How? Matt Car v Supercar, Le Mans of Justice. From the director who won an Oscar for filming a bag comes a perilous journey across a World War I themed Call of Duty map, where each checkpoint is one of the UK's hottest hunks, all in a desperate race to stop the pointless loss of 1,600 men, or at least delay their deaths by about a week, tops. That's all blended into one never-ending shot, capturing the horrors of war, the chaos of battle, and the desperation of never knowing when it's okay to go to the bathroom during the movie, and is so meticulously crafted that much like this sentence, you may not notice that it's been one long run-on until part of the way into it, but by then it will be too late to go back to the beginning and analyze where the places are that it was stitched together, so you'll just sit there, conscious of the fact that it's still going, until you get so used to the fact that there still hasn't been a cut point that you forget you were even looking for one, until the very end when it's over, and you realize that, while the patches may have been a bit obvious in some places, it's still impressive to do something that can go on for this long without losing its entertainment value. Uncut Gem. He's fought the Gotham Police, Batman, and the Suicide Squad. But on Oscar night, the Joker will face off against his most powerful nemesis of all, Martin Scorsese, in a knockdown grudge match to determine once and for all if comic book movies are real cinema, or they're, in his words, theme parks. I hope not, because I do not want to take my kids to Joker World. Disorder of the Phoenix. From Greta Gerwig's boyfriend comes a story about Greta Gerwig's boyfriend's ex-wife in this thinly veiled retelling of his own divorce.
Battle is really raging out there. Looks like you can get a triple.
The light dim, but we stop.
You're doing great out there.
I forgot to freeze it, right?
Nice work out there. Keep up the pressure.
Reinforcements requested.
Who knows what secrets will uncover?
I like where you're going with this. up the momentum, friend.